Hello everybody, I'm up to the West Ham Way YouTube channel. You already know who I am, just charging my laptop. Listen, this is Game Changers, where we look at the key players from both sides, not only in terms of who can make the difference, who can get the goals, but certainly who can be the weaknesses in both teams' game plan. It's going to be an interesting game for me. I think West Ham have got an opportunity here to get 6 points from 2 winnable games, which I think would be fantastic for us. Sets us up very nicely for a competitive fixture against Aston Villa. Sheffield United are battling it out at the bottom, to be fair. They don't look the same team as last season. Yes, they're playing the same system, but I think teams have sussed them out a little bit and they're getting frustrated with the lack of goals. And obviously we know in the Premier League, if you can't score goals, it's going to be very, very difficult to stay up. And I think they're shipping quite a few as well at the minute. So let's get into it. Let's get into who I think is going to be a game changer potentially for Sheffield United. Chris Basham. Now, probably wouldn't have been the first pick for most of you sitting here watching, but when you watch Sheffield United play, obviously the system allows the centre-backs to underlap, overlap, push forward, put pressure on the opposition and try and pin them back. And Chris Basham is one of the key advocates for that. He's been doing it last season. He's doing it this season again. Listen, in terms of an offensive strategy, it's unusual. It does work in terms of creating chances and keeping the ball in the opposition's final third, but it does mean they can be exploited on the counter. When you're looking at West Ham's low block, in particular with a back five, the wing backs sort of tucking in a little bit, Fornals and Bowen, we can soak up a lot of pressure. And as I said in the preview, I think Rice and Souček are going to have to be really disciplined against Sheffield United. Despite them not having a cutting edge, they can still be dangerous and they can still put decent delivery into the box, especially with late runners as well. But Chris Basham's going to push up a lot during this game and he will get exposed. And I think West Ham have shown, particularly this season, that they're very effective from the transition from defence to attack, particularly with the front three. Again, if we'd had Mikel Antonio fit for this game, I believe he'll start from the bench. For me, it would have been perfect for us hitting them. We've also got outballs for us. We've got Aaron Creswell. We've got Arthur Masuaku. There's decent delivery there into the forward men to hit Sheffield United. And I do believe not only Chris Basham, but whoever lines up in that back three, Ampadu, possibly Phil Jagielka, we can exploit them in terms of pace. Particularly when you watch Sheffield United as well, in their their need to create chances, their need to get goals, particularly when you get to the last 20 minutes, they're very, very open. I think Chelsea, we saw that, particularly with Werner's mobility, can get in behind, can cause them issues, but they get a little bit stretched. I remember watching them last season against Leicester, trying to create something. Again, the centre-backs got exposed, and when they get exposed, they're very, very easily beaten in terms of dribbling, in terms of pace. So you're looking particularly at Chris Basham, and I know I'm singling out here, but particularly the two centre-backs that will push on and will create overloads, both of them can be exposed. And I expect that even if West Ham can't hit Sheffield United on the counter early doors, when you get to the last 20 minutes, I do believe space will open up, and I think West Ham will have a lot of joy. But let's talk about someone who I wouldn't say necessarily concerned about, but someone I believe is a key threat for Sheffield United, and that is Jon Lundstrom. West Ham have been linked with Jon Lundstrom recently. He wasn't very happy at Sheffield United. I believe he wanted to go, hasn't been able to agree a contract, but he's still playing. Obviously, Chris Wilder's going to have to rely on him. He trusts him. Injuries to Sander Berge, injuries to John Fleck mean that Lundstrom has to play in the side. What impresses me most about him is the final midfield third work. It is his ability to carry the ball as well in transition, which is so crucial for that midfield three. Defensively as well, he can sit in deep and try and make it frustrating for teams like West Ham when we're on the counter. He's pivotal. In fairness, the midfield three are pivotal in terms of transition. But what I've seen from Lundstrom is his late runs into the box, his goal threat, particularly in the last few games where the likes of McBurney, McGoldrick, albeit McGoldrick did get a goal against Chelsea, they've been a bit shot shy. But Lundstrom likes to make late runs into the box, likes to latch onto things. And I think Sheffield United's game plan is to create chances in the final third. And Lundstrom's someone that it's difficult to pick him up. And that's why I always label someone like Rice and Souček as the key men in trying to nullify him. If West Ham, and I don't know how we're going to play it, I would expect us to be a little bit more conservative because of the system. But if we try and press Sheffield United, expect Lundstrom to carry the ball, expect him to try and distribute it, particularly to the front two, possibly to the wing backs if they push on. I really hope West Ham don't try and press Sheffield United too high, because I think someone like Lundstrom will find space, can carry the ball, will make it difficult. It can make it more of an open game than it needs to be. And I think West Ham needs to be patient in this game, need to be disciplined, as I've already said. And and nullifying someone like Lundstrom, particularly with Rice and Souček just in front of that back three. Going to be tough for him. Going to be really tough for him otherwise. But he can score goals. I know he hasn't done so this season, but I expect him to be a threat throughout. Now, moving on to West Ham's game changers. I have identified this man as someone that I believe can make the difference for West Ham, and that is Jarrod Bowen. He's been relatively quiet in the past couple of games. I do appreciate that. I know some people have been saying that why is he treated favourably just because, he's got good work rate. Again, he's been really important in terms of his defensive work rate. And other than the Fulham game, we've been under the cosh, against the likes of Manchester City, Spurs, Liverpool. You haven't seen him flourish as much. I think this game's perfect for him. And the reason why I say that is because if West Ham really sit low, put a low block on, be defensive, soak up pressure, Jarrod Bowen on the counter is still lethal. In games where he's had the opportunity to get at players, where there's space in behind, Bowen has proven himself multiple times. And I'm looking at that Leicester game. We see on the counter against Leicester when they started to press up, Bowen got the ball, fantastic finish for him. And that's where I really believe the game will tilt. Like I've already mentioned, the centre-back pairing, the back three can get exposed with the overlap, aren't the best in dealing with mobility anyway. And that's even when they're able to set the defensive shape. So I'm looking at someone like Jarrod Bowen to expose Sheffield United a little bit more, get past the man and create chances for Sebastien Haller, Pablo Fornals, and Sebastien Haller. And I think using him a little bit more offensively in this game is what's going to tell for West Ham, is what's going to create the chances. And I'd like to see him get a goal. Obviously, I would like to see him get a goal. I think he deserves it. Possibly he'll get an assist in this game as well. But that will drag me on to always the point of contention. Always the point of contention at West Ham is Sebastien Haller. I've labelled him as a game changer, possibly because this type of game may be good for him, or it might not be. But I think there's something in his play that he needs to show in this game. And what I've seen from clips of him previously at the likes of Frankfurt is he makes runs. He does make runs, in fairness to him. The difference is that at West Ham, sometimes he's playing, just ahead of the midfield four, particularly in the defensive shape. He's too far away from the goal. He hasn't got the pace to run in behind. Just because he doesn't have the natural pace doesn't mean he can't make the runs and stretch the sort of defences of the opposition. And I think in this game, particularly if West Ham can isolate the back three and make it 3-on-3, I'd be looking at either Sebastien Haller, Fornals or Jarrod Bowen to create the space to get in behind. And I do believe Haller can find that space. I think he can be dangerous. And I think it isn't just in terms of the counter. I've seen Sheffield United be incredibly weak in terms of set pieces and deliveries into the box. The defensive shape is all wrong. They're all facing the goal, the whole of the team when they're in that defensive shape. And they've been picked off. I know Ramsdale struggled recently as well, particularly against the Chelsea, and particularly previously as well. There are mistakes in his game. I think Haller is very, very good in the air, as we already know. Even for the goal for Chelsea, I think there was a pullback, gets in behind the midfield three, just in front of the back three, and finds space. And you're looking at Haller, and I think generally his movement to get into the position is okay. But again, we haven't seen enough of that in the opposition final third. And I'd like to think that this could be the game that Sebastien Haller shows us a little bit of that striker instinct, and can notch a goal. I do believe he'll get chances. I am looking a little bit more at Bramall and Bowen to create them. But I would expect that if Bramall, as we saw against Fulham when he came on, can take on the defenders, as we know Bowen can already, that Haller will find the space. So again, it remains to be seen. I do think Mikel Antonio would have been perfect for this game, particularly on the counter. It doesn't mean West Ham can't score goals. Like I've already mentioned, things like set pieces that I believe Sheffield United are weak from. They're not even really, in terms of notching goals against teams, that great from deliveries either. So, I mean, this is a good opportunity for West Ham. It's a good opportunity for the likes of Haller and Bowen to build confidence. I know they haven't had the goals to sort of top off their games, but I believe it's a good chance for West Ham. I believe it's a good chance for them. Like I said in the preview, I think Sheffield United will create chances, will put West Ham under pressure. It won't be an easy game. It might not even be an easy watch, but I think we've got enough to get the 3 points, get out of there, and then move up the table. So listen, I'm looking forward to it. Just a bit of admin work. There will be the live Fans Voice tomorrow from 11 o'clock. You can come and join us then. Put all your comments in the descriptions, and etc., etc. And then we've got the watch along as well On Sunday, starts at 1:30. We'll have team lineups, score predictions, and obviously the usual lads discussing everything West Ham, everything opposition, and everything Premier League. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe to the West Ham Way YouTube channel. And until next time, until tomorrow, take care.